Hi, guys. Hi. Welcome back to my show. This is Marina Shepelsky, the founder of Shepelsky Law Group. Today's show is our weekly Friday immigration news show. And I'm here today to unpack everything that happened this week. And so much has happened this week that it's really a lot to discuss for us before I get into your questions. I'm just going to give a couple more minutes to people to come in and join us. Kelly is saying good morning. Hi, Kelly. How are you? How are you? It took me like a while to log in. I have a new camera that I haven't been able to set. Oh, I was going to show you. I have a new camera that I haven't been able to connect just yet. I need my husband to help me. I was hoping to do two devices today to do a live on Instagram and talk to you guys on YouTube, but it didn't work out. Well, that's good. We're all here on YouTube, so we're going to do this. We're going to do the show. We're going to talk about today's news. Everything that built up this week, we will discuss. The number one news this week was the Supreme Court doing all kinds of crazy things, right? All kinds of unusual decisions were made, rewriting legal history of the United States, rewriting it completely. So the number one thing that happened for immigrants is that the court said that Department of Homeland Security has the power to end the wait in Mexico policy. Now, the wait in Mexico policy, what it is Trump, when he was in power, brought back this old policy of people walking up to the border asking for asylum, and then ICE telling them to go back to Mexico, wait in Mexico. We will get back to you. We got your information and we will get back to you. So the minute that Biden came in, very shortly after Biden became president, he said, we're getting rid of this wait in Mexico policy. It's inhumane. We're putting a huge burden on Mexico because people were sleeping on the streets in Mexico, right? Because they were waiting to be called back to the United States, never to be called back. Then two states specifically sued Biden and his administration. They took them to federal court and they said, you are placing a huge burden on us by doing this wait in Mexico thing, doing away with it, right? All these immigrants that are rushing in now are waiting, around here. They're staying in our states, and that's a huge burden, and you don't have a right to do that, federal government. So, they sued them, and the federal courts agreed with the states. So the Department of Homeland Security appealed it, and it went all the way up to the highest court of the United States, the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, we think that Department of Homeland Security has this right to end it. We gave them this discretion, this power. We want to end it. They have the right to end it. Just end it, right? So that ended. In addition to that, this week, Title 42 was in the news. Title 42 during COVID was a law used by the Center for Disease Control in the United States to say, because of COVID concerns, we're not letting any foreign people in right now, right? And they said the Department of Homeland Security is using it. And Department of Homeland Security wanted to end that, actually. But the federal judge blocked the White House from lifting it last month and said, we will extend it. And then this week, the House of Representatives Appropriations Committee that manages the budget, right? That committee said, we will extend it too. They want to extend it. So on the one hand, Supreme Court said that we're going to end wait in Mexico. On the other hand, the House of Representatives wants to continue to have this law that rejects people at the border because of COVID, because we don't want new people coming in with new infections and so on. So that's what we're dealing with. Of course, a huge decision overturning Roe versus Wade happened this week. Roe versus Wade was a decision from 50 years ago that protected women's right to have an abortion federally, on a federal level. And they did away with it this week. Why? Because of religious reasons. They said that, but I mean, at the end, they used a different reason, but the real reason is religious reasons. They said, well, the states have a right to regulate these privacy rights of women and let the states, each state individually handle this for themselves. But in reality, I think this was a religious decision, and they were pro-life, a big part of the court, meaning they're against abortions. And I think it badly affects women who are immigrants and poor women. And it's a really terrible decision. Whether you are religious or not, there's situations in women's lives, including medical situations, where a woman needs to have a medical or a surgical abortion. I think that we should have that option. I don't think that people should use abortion like a contraception, like every time you have sex, you get pregnant, go get an abortion. That's bad. But that option should be out there. I really, really disagree with that option. So Remain in Mexico is going to be over, hopefully next week. Title 42 is probably going to get extended. People keep asking me about immigration reform. And now that I have told you all that I told you, I don't think there's any immigration reform coming, because now we have to first deal with all these issues. Title 42, we have to deal with, ending Wait in Mexico, a lot going on. I don't think immigration reform is coming this minute. In our practice, what we noticed is that they no longer at USCIS will take written letters asking about what's going on with your case. Now you either call USCIS or write them electronic inquiry right from their website, or you could chat to Emma, the bot on the website. That's it. That's all that's happening. They will not respond to any letters that you write to them. Our letters are coming back to us, believe it or not. We're sending them and they're coming right back to us. So I'm going to get into answer the question now. Lindsay says hello. Farhad says hello. Kursoon says hello. Hi. Joseph says hello. Lindsay's asking, I hope you enjoyed your vacation. I loved the pictures, baby. Oh, thank you so much. I did enjoy my vacation. It wasn't really a vacation. I went by myself to finalize some things for my wedding for next week in Miami. We're doing my wedding in Miami. This is my second marriage. I was married for 10 years, and then I was divorced for almost 10 years, 9 years. And now I'm getting remarried. Now, I've been living with my spouse already for 3 years. We might be moving soon, and we decided we're finally going to get married. We're going to have a nice ceremony and get our families together to celebrate. But most of his family, they're older, they live in Miami. So we decided to just make like a little getaway for everybody and do it in Miami. So I went down there to plan some last minute things. It's actually going to be a 2-day thing. The first day is going to be like a ceremony, and I have my friend being there like a judge, like an officiant. And the second day, we're going to have a big party. So I had to go and get some things finalized with flowers, with food for the first day. Anyway, I'm still really tired. It wasn't a vacation. But thank you for asking. Thank you for looking at my pictures. Zulika says, hi, Marina. Good morning. Happy 4th of July to you and family. Oh, my God. Thank you for remembering. I totally forgot. This is the 4th of July long weekend, everybody, in the United States. In the United States, there's a couple of big, big holidays that everyone celebrates. Nobody ever goes to work. We all get together and we celebrate. The 4th of July is a big deal here. The 4th of July is a holiday where our country celebrates its independence from Great Britain, from England. We had a war. We won the war. And this is in 1792. And now we celebrate the fact that we're independent. We have our own government. It's a democratic government. And everybody has a barbecue and remembers what happened and thanks the Lord for being a great independent country and developing on our own without the British monarchy, without the religion, forcing everybody to be the same. So it's a great holiday, and I will celebrate like everyone else and take a day off, and our office is closed on Monday. Kursun is asking one question. How long does it take for USCIS to make a decision on a VAWA case after prima facie? On the paper, it said 1 year, but once you check on the website, it says 26 months. It's 26 months. The prima facie is for 1 year. Then you'll get another one if it continues. It's around 26 months. That means it's about 2 years and 2 months from the date you filed your package. So the prima facie usually comes within a couple of weeks of you filing. Add another 2 years and 2 months to that. That's when you'll get the final decision. That might mean that you get one more prima facie, a new prima facie approval. And if you don't get it, you can write them a letter asking for a copy. Anastasia says, good morning. Marina, what is the processing time for TPS for Ukrainians? Is it okay if people receive a receipt number without the privacy notice because applied online? Yes, it's absolutely fine since you applied online. I'm going to go to the website for USCIS, and I recommend all of you go and Google USCIS processing times. You go to the link, it takes you to, for TPS, it's form, I think it's 1821. So it's I-821, application for temporary protected status. So it takes you to a page that says check case processing times. You pull down the form. The form is I-821, application for temporary protected status. It's not giving you the option for Ukraine, but let's just pretend it's initial filing for El Salvador. It doesn't give you the option for Ukraine, but let's pretend that it does. And let's say you file with the Nebraska Service Center. Nebraska is taking 12 and a half months for TPS. Vermont Service Center is taking only 4.5 months. So I'm hoping that your case went to Vermont, and if the Vermont Service Center is handling it, it's going to take about 4.5 months to get an approval. All right. Farhad is saying asylum parole, how long it takes. You mean you are pending asylum and you requested advance parole. If that's what you're asking, advance parole takes, again, I'm on the same page for processing times. I go to form for advance parole is I-131. Everything in immigration starts with the form and the form number. So I find the form I-131, then I do advance parole. Then I find your field office or service center. Let's say you're in the National Benefit Center, because there's a few options. So you have to check for yourself which service center is handling your case. If you have a receipt letter, it's going to be in the bottom left corner. It's going to tell you what service center. And it's about 9 months in the National Benefit Center for advance parole. If you're in California, advance parole is taking 14 months. So you could check according to where you filed. All right. Okay, so far, that's all the questions I'm seeing on YouTube. It's funny because I usually have more people watching because I have people watching on Facebook. And what happened is I had a post from last year where I said, as a joke, I kidnapped my kids and we went on vacation instead of school. Last year we went during their school year. So Facebook thought that I said the word kidnap as something that I'm threatening somebody with, and they punished me. I cannot do any lives on Facebook for like a month. similar thing happened to me on TikTok. By the way, you guys should sign up for me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, and I have a lot of followers there. I'm a big star. I'm a big celebrity for immigration lawyers on TikTok. So on TikTok, I did a post about the 50 migrants who died from heat. Oh, that happened too this week. I didn't tell you guys. This week, a big tragedy happened in Texas. About 50 plus, like let's say 60 people, were smuggled by this group that probably did this over and over again many times, probably paying off somebody at the border, probably corrupt ICE officer they had a relationship with, and they were probably bringing people over from Mexico across the border illegally, without declaring, without asking for anything, under the radar for years. But this time they left this big tractor trailer with people inside out in the desert, and nobody was doing anything, and the people inside died. So I talked about this tragedy. I talked about how we need to change our laws because people keep dying, and it hasn't, nothing, even with Biden, nothing changed. And the border crisis, this is one of the consequences. So I said the word died and death. On TikTok, it's a big no-no. On TikTok, I got also a violation, so I had to remove the video immediately. So if you're on TikTok or Facebook, never write words like that, okay? And I can't even talk here because, again, we don't really have freedom of speech. We have censorship. And I wasn't threatening anybody. I was just talking about the news that has to do with immigration. Anyway, so if you're interested, you can go online and check out that article about what happened in San Antonio, about those poor people. Some of them were Mexican, some were from Guatemala, some were from Honduras. When they just opened the tractor trailer, and some people walking by responded to calls for help. There were people inside who were calling for help. And when they opened, already I think 48 people were dead. And then I think 5 more died in the hospital, and they were able to save like 9 or 10 people. All right, so Andrew Lopez says hello. Hi. Lindsay says they don't have processing for I-589. That's true. 589, I can't even tell you how long it's going to take. If you filed in like 2016 or even 15, it might take you another year or two to get called. The asylum processing is super delayed right now. Very delayed. All right, so now that I think I answered everything for now, let me talk about VAWA with you guys. We do a lot of VAWA cases, and we do a lot of cancellation of removal cases in the office. VAWA is when you're married to a U.S. citizen or even a green card holder, and the marriage, like, it's bad. It falls apart. They abuse you. And I send a lot of our cases to my friend who is a nurse practitioner, like a doctor psychologist. She's a psychiatric nurse practitioner. It's like a doctor of psychiatry. And we were talking this morning before. She goes, Marina, this is terrible. Every person that I talked to was badly abused. But because they're immigrants and they're so scared, every one of them says, I don't think this abuse is bad enough. I'm so worried. He only hit me with my head a few times. Can you imagine the guy that our female client was married to would grab her by her hair and hit her with her head on the table and other furniture? And she didn't think that was bad abuse. Others maybe were never physically abused, but they were completely controlled. They would be starved at home without money for food. I had one lady who the husband, she works, finally. He didn't even let her work for 2 years, but finally she got a job. She doesn't have a car. There's no public transportation. She would have to walk to her job 45 minutes one way and then back in a hot state. I think it's in Florida or South Carolina. So if that's not abuse, I don't know what else is. And then when they fight, he takes all of her cards away, even her credit card and debit cards that she has from her own money, her own job. So this is ridiculous. And this is a big problem, that immigrants have such low self-esteem, so much fear, that they think when they're truly being abused and mistreated, that's fine. It's not bad enough. Maybe they will lose and they're afraid to file. Don't be afraid. I'm telling you that even if you weren't physically abused, even if you don't have police reports, we will win your VAWA case. We will help you. We are such pros at this. This is like, I think, our number one case type in the office. The other case type that we really do well with is asylum. Somebody was asking me, that how that there's no waiting times for asylum. Sometimes when you filed a long time ago, asylum takes a long time to get to the interview, 5 7 years. But people who are filing right now, they get called for an asylum interview within weeks, like 6 weeks, and you will have your interview. So it's really important to have a really good immigration attorney team right from the beginning. And we have a great team, and this is the advantage of using our firm, that we are a team of experts, of attorneys and paralegals. We do only this. We don't do, at this point, really any other kind of law, really. Sometimes we do some divorces, but usually our divorces are related to the VAWA, to the abuse cases. So we have everything already set up, like a whole network. We'll send you to one of our psychologists or psychiatrists that we work with to evaluate you. People don't even know they're abused. They cry every day and they think they're fine. That's not fine, all right? So we talk about therapy and evaluation with you. We'll help you set up your case. We'll help you win. Okay? Viva is asking, can a green card holder file for parents and siblings? Absolutely not. You have to first become a U.S. citizen. Then you can file for your parents. Parents will be super quick for immigration. So that's like a year and a half, maybe. Siblings will be 16 years right now, even if you're a U.S. citizen. But for now, until you become a citizen, you cannot file for neither parents nor siblings. What else? Let's see. What other questions do we have today? I probably ran late and some people couldn't log in this morning. So we don't have as many people watching, but we have plenty, and I'm really happy that you guys are following me. How does cancellation of removal work? That's like kind of my last thing that I want to discuss today. So some people don't even know what that means, cancellation of removal. If you are illegally in the United States, meaning you entered without a visa, or you had a visa but you overstayed, and you've been here more than 10 years without crimes, you've never been deported, you've never been like in the immigration system and have an old denial order from the judge. So if you've never been deported by a judge and no crimes, in here more than 10 years, and you have kids here or a spouse, they're citizens or green card holders, for their sake, especially if they have medical problems or special needs, we ask the immigration judge for you to keep you here to help them, to be there for them, to be part of their support network. Like if they're sick, you take them to the doctor, you financially support them, and so on. So if you're just tuning in, you can ask your question. I still have about 6 minutes left of the show. I still have time to answer a few more questions. But cancellation of removal under 42B for non-lawful permanent residents is what I just described. Okay, you're here over 10 years, no crimes, never been deported. Your kids are citizens and they have special needs or medical problems or something else that makes them completely not able to survive if you had to take them back to your home country. Okay, and especially this works really well for countries that traditionally don't have therapy or good medical system. So like, unfortunately, like Pakistan or India or any African countries, we are so much better in the United States with all that stuff that it would be cruel to have to send U.S. citizen kids to follow their illegal mom or dad to the home country. So that's how we win those cases. All right, let's see if we have any more questions here. I had a question earlier that is not on the screen, but somebody's asking me for VAWA. If you file for VAWA, so you are married to a citizen, actually VAWA even works if you have a child who's a citizen over 21 and you have a bad relationship with them, they treat you badly, then you can file for VAWA too. If you file for VAWA, are you allowed to get a work permit? And the answer is yes, absolutely. But how long it takes you to get the work permit is different depending on what status you file in, right? If you file based on, you came in, you were here illegal, you married somebody who's a citizen, or your kid is over 21, or you're a citizen, and you're filing from scratch, like you never filed anything before, we'll get you a green card application and the work permit application submitted in the same package as VAWA. That will take you about 10 months to get that work permit and a social. If you're filing when you have an old deportation, it's a little different. Then you have to wait for the VAWA to be approved. That might take 26 months, as we discussed. So that's 2 years and 2 months. Then you get the work permit, because your work permit will be based on your VAWA being approved. The earlier scenario is based on the green card. All right. So I hope this was helpful to explain for the work permit for VAWA. Okay. Christofina is that. Oh, that's such a beautiful name. Christofina. So beautiful. My husband's N366 was approved recently, since May 2022. Since the officer said he will send the case for approval, we never heard from them before. What should we do? You should just wait. It will be eventually approved. It takes a few weeks and sometimes even a few months. All right. Yeah. So it's going to take some. You mean the N366? That means they'll schedule him for another interview. Or you mean he had another interview based on the N366? Anyway, it's going to take a few months. It might take a few weeks or a few months. That's the right answer. I gave you the right answer. Petero Jenga is saying, I applied the I-130 petition for my wife in February 2021 and no decision yet. This is in the Seattle field office. Seattle is probably overwhelmed. And Petero, I don't know if you are a green card holder, which makes things much slower than if you were a U.S. citizen. Tatiana is asking, if my brother have a green card due to juvenile status, I'm his legal guardian. Can he ask for me not as a sister, but as his legal guardian? Unfortunately, no. There's no category of a legal guardian. So no, he'll have to become a citizen and then file for you as his sibling, his sister. That's it for today. I see all the questions are here. I'm wrapping up. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being so loyal. Have a wonderful long weekend, 4th of July, if you're here and you're celebrating. Unfortunately, many immigrants have to work on 4th of July. If you work in like the service industry or restaurant or in construction, which a lot of immigrants have to do those manual type jobs, you might have to work on the 4th of July. So I wish you a lot of energy, strength, and, hope. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.